half of the people moved to Fort Mill didn't get the full picture before they signed, and some of them felt that within the first 90 days.
That's like, surprise, here we are. Fort Mill gets recommended constantly to relocating families. Great schools, lower taxes, close to Charlotte, and all of that is true.
But here are the real trade-offs that doesn't show up in Zillow. And today, we're going to give you both sides so you can decide if Fort Mill actually fits your life.
But you don't want to guess whose side I'm on, okay? Look, we worked with a family relocating from the DMV area. Fort Mill checked every single box on paper. 6 months later, the I-77 commute was affecting their quality of life every single day. That's a conversation we should have or have had before they signed.
Now that's preventable, right? And that's exactly why we made this video. Today, we're breaking down 5 real pros and 6 cons, including the one that surprises almost every buyer we work with. So you can make this decision with confidence the first time.
And stick around, because con number 2 surprises almost every buyer who thinks Fort Mill is still the affordable alternative to Charlotte. That price gap has changed, and we'll show you exactly what the numbers look like now.
And if you're relocating in the Charlotte area, grab our free relocation guide in the description below. It compares Fort Mill to 10 other neighborhoods side by side, so you can plan this move strategically before you start touring any homes. Now, Fort Mill attracts many relocating families because of its organized, community-driven feel. Most neighborhoods are designed with sidewalks, amenities, neighborhood events, and consistent suburban layout. If you want structure, predictability, and neighborhoods designed for families, this area tends to deliver that experience very well.
One major advantage is how close Fort Mill sits to South Charlotte. For many hybrid professionals, being about 15 to 25 minutes from employment hubs like Ballantyne's corporate corridor, banking offices, healthcare campuses, and tech employees creates strong balances between space and accessibility. For hybrid workers, this location tends to work extremely well, and that proximity can translate to real monthly savings compared to living inside the Charlotte proper.
I feel like sometimes people don't take into account the gas money and the amount of time. Your time costs money. If you're relocating and want newer homes, open layouts, and modern design, and neighborhood amenities like pools and clubhouses, Fort Mill consistently offers these options, right? Compared to many established Charlotte neighborhoods, you'll see more large-scale master plan communities here. And that structure also comes with an HOA expectation, so which we'll address in the cons.
Another advantage is that Fort Mill isn't just one type of neighborhood. You have Baxter Village with a more walkable town-style feel, downtown Fort Mill with a small historic town atmosphere, newer amenity communities with modern homes, and just nearby Katika Cay offers a completely different lake-oriented lifestyle. Choosing the right pocket here is everything. And that's a conversation we walk every buyer through before they start touring.
Now let's jump into pro number 5. Because Fort Mill is frequently recommended to relocating families, buyer demand tends to remain consistent. Between the reputation of the school district, proximity to Charlotte, and the number of newer communities available, this area often stays high on the relocation buyer's shortlist. That strategy demand can support long-term resale strength, particularly in the desirable neighborhoods like Baxter Village.
I love Baxter Village.
It's all about the resale. Now, here's the part many relocation buyers don't fully understand before they move here.
And one of these cons is something almost nobody talks about online.
And by the way, if you're seriously considering Fort Mill, our free relocation guide compares it to 10 other neighborhoods side by side. Link is in the description below. Con number 1, I-77 is the primary corridor connecting Fort Mill to Charlotte. If you commute 5 days a week into Uptown during peak hours, your daily experience will look and feel very different than someone working hybrid or remotely. Here's the reality. What looks like 20-minute drive on Google Maps can become 45 to 55 minutes during peak commute hours. For some buyers, this is a single factor that determines whether Fort Mill works long-term. It would for me. If your job requires a strict 9-to-5 schedule at Uptown, that's a conversation we need to have before assuming this location is the right fit.
That's right.
Yes. Being from New York, right? Our commute was always generally about, 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah.
I want you guys to realize 45 minutes an hour on a subway, Long Island Railroad, is not the same as driving in traffic.
True.
So although traffic is better here than New York, it's something that you need to think about because Charlotte doesn't really have a lot of public transportation. So that's something you really need to take into account. At least when in New York, we were on a train, I can close my eyes and go to sleep. I can take a little nap. But here, you gotta keep those eyes open all the time.
Yes. Con number 2. This is the part where most buyers get surprised the most. Fort Mill used to be viewed as a more affordable alternative to Charlotte. Today, because of demand and the reputation of school districts, pricing is very competitive, especially in the desirable communities. The current pricing ranges in 2026 for townhomes, for example, are in the mid to high 300s and up. Single-family homes run from mid to 400 and 700,000 and beyond. New construction often starts in the 500s. So while many buyers still prefer Fort Mill, the price advantage isn't as dramatic as it once was. We want you walking into this market with accurate expectations, not the ones from 3 years ago.
Now let's jump into con number 3. Many Fort Mill communities are amenity driven. Pools, clubhouses, walking trails, and neighborhood events are great features. But those amenities come with HOA fees and community guidelines. For some buyers, that structure is positive. For others, it can feel restrictive. Know which type of buyer you are before you fall in love with a community. So for instance, for us, right, we had neighbors, really lovely neighbors, right? But they chose to do everything in the front yard. They used to fix cars, they used to have cars parked on the grass, and you know, for me, I wasn't feeling it. So that's where I love the HOA, right? What do you think about the HOA?
You didn't like the guys with the cars parked on the grass?
Nah, no.
It was a form of security for me. I felt safe coming in.
No. I like the uniformity. I like it being all nice and neat, right? I believe everyone should have some type of personality with their home. But I don't feel like parking on the grass gives good return on value.
I couldn't agree more. I felt safe coming in, knowing that I had someone to say hello to. But to your point, yes, Hope. Resale value is the business we're in, and you should be too. Con number 4. In many of the newer master plan neighborhoods, homes are larger, but lot sizes are often smaller than buyers expect. If you're relocating from areas where quarter acre or half acre lots are standard, that adjustment can feel significant once you start touring. This is one of those things that doesn't show up in the Zillow photo, but you notice it immediately when you walk the property.
Yeah, we learned that.
Yes.
Now, Fort Mill is suburban at first. If you're looking for dense nightlife, heavy walkability, or strong urban environment, this may not be aligned with your expectations. Most entertainment, restaurants, and nightlife options are centered in Charlotte.
South Carolina property taxes are structured differently, which can benefit primary homeowners specifically, but taxes are only one part of the cost equation. You still need to factor in HOAs, commute costs, insurance, and overall purchase price when evaluating the full financial picture. We always walk our buyers through a complete cost comparison, not just the tax line.
Now, this is who Fort Mill is best for. Fort Mill tends to work extremely well if you're a relocating family, prioritizing structured communities and strong schools. A hybrid remote professional working in Charlotte. Someone who prefers newer homes and amenity-rich neighborhoods, or someone who is comfortable with the suburban lifestyle and the HOA structure.
Fort Mill may not be the best fit if you commute daily into uptown Charlotte during peak hours, if you're looking for dense walkability, nightlife, or urban energy, or if you're expecting Fort Mill to be dramatically cheaper than Charlotte, because that price gap has narrowed significantly.
Yeah. If you haven't watched our full Fort Mill versus TKK versus Valentine comparison yet, watch that one next. Right? We'll break down exactly who each area is and isn't for side by side. The link is on the screen right now.
Grab our free relocation guide in the description below and schedule a call with us. That link is pinned in the comments.
I'm waiting.
Till next time, stay blessed by the best.
Have an amazing day. Bye.